The difference between us is that I can feel pain.
Sounds like a real boogeyman. 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Not to mention the fact that you're talking to a dead guy.
There's someone else in the hotel with us. There's a crazy woman in one of the rooms.
It's got a death curse.
This isn't science. It's more like black magic.
Your specimen has been processed, and we are now ready to begin the test proper.
Hello, my not owl friends, and welcome to an extremely important edition of Pumpkin Hill Radio. I'm your host, Travis Wormwood, and with me, as always, is our other host, Dawson Trailer. This is Pumpkin Hill Radio. Every week, we dig into esoteric topics, paranormal mysteries. We did true crime once. You know, Tell us if you like that, and just the most high strangeness things that we can find. Today is no different, and today I think we have an extremely high strangeness case for you. So get ready for that. Let's see. We're on video, so if you're listening on audio, make sure to check out the vids. We got, fresh on YouTube, same time you listen to it. And weekly, daily clips out on all the socials, pumpkinhillradio.com to find all the links for everything. You can support. You are in a cult now by listening. You're in the cult of the Star Mother.
Welcome.
You've signed an audio contract just by this entering your ears. You're part of it. You can join deeper layers by joining the Patreon, patreon.com/pumpkinhillradio. We just reworked the Patreon tiers a little bit. No difference in pricing, but just what you get. We just made it so you get like 5 things a month now on Patreon.
Yeah.
It's like 5 bonus episodes a month on Patreon, pretty much, which
just getting more.
It's going to be a huge jump in content over there. So, I'll say all the founders spots are picked out. We have our 10 key members, our key holder members, they got another discount. But you can get in for just $5 a month. Whenever you want. Higher tiers get access to other stuff too, like my book and other things that we're working on. But that $5 tier is going to get you 5 bonus episodes a month. I think it's an outstanding deal right now. $1 per. That's like $1 per hour basically, or like $1 per 2 hours. I'm not going to try to do the math here on what dollars equal.
Yeah,
you tell me what this is.
I don't know
what
that even means.
Yeah.
Heck of a deal.
Before we dig into a little bit of horror this week and then the big show of it all, which is an extremely high strange case, I can't wait to dig into it. I do want to shout out our ghost host of the week. This guy's been sitting in the chamber for a while, but Walker Miller, it is your shout out this week.
Big Dub Mills.
Big Dub Mills, what up? And I will get that copy of Luigi's Mansion 3 back to you soon, okay? I know I've been telling you for years, but it's coming to you, okay? Shout out again to you. Dawson, you got any horror this week you want to cover? Anything strange?
Not really. I mean, I didn't sleep for a few days.
Yes.
And I didn't really feel that different. I slept last night though. It was great.
You have one of those 4-day pills?
Yeah, I had one of the 4-day just don't sleep pills.
The 4 days. Yeah, no. There was an extreme spike. We mentioned it almost every horror this week. There was an extreme spike in the Schumann resonance, which is the latent, whatever feel. We got to dig into it a little more, but it's this field that the Earth just naturally puts out.
It's the energies, man. It's been crazy.
Yeah. So
I'm not the only one either. I've talked to some other people that are like, sleeping.
Hey, let us know if you've gotten weird sleep or weird dreams. pumpkinradio@gmail.com.
We're back, baby.
Yeah. I do want to say, what? Oh, yeah. The Pope died.
Yeah.
Now this will be covered further on this week's episode of Chaos Control and probably on Dawson's Diaries too. We'll probably just start ranting about it because it does deserve its own whole collection of thoughts. But I do want to say the Pope did die on Easter Sunday this year. That is after opening a portal in a prison earlier this year, completing a 1,000-year-old spell. More on that probably some other place. But there was all these things about Saint Malachi, who was this saint from the 1100s who had all these prophecies, and he prophesized about countless popes, their names and everything, even the one we currently have. He called out by name, and he said that this would be the last. He didn't say it would necessarily be the last pope, but he said that this would his death would usher in the end of times, basically, or whatever. I don't want to be doomsaying necessarily, but that's what the prophecy said. A lot of his other prophecies came to pass, and it just fit right in there with
well, it said it's ushering in the last pope, and the last pope's name is gonna be Peter. Mm-hmm. The next pope, his name's Peter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
same with the. I mean, we'll just get into it.
We'll cover the papacy in
full.
full.
It aligns with the the World Economic Forum, him
Yeah.
stepping down and a new guy stepping in. His name's also Peter. So
Yeah, this might even be better on like
And they
the
both-
Patreon.
yeah,
you might be able to dig into this on the
Pope,
Patreon
yeah,
this week
Pope,
with Dawson's
Pope died
Diaries.
on his 88th year.
And you know, if you hit
CEO.
88 miles an hour, you
Yeah.
travel back in time. All
And the head of the World Economic Forum also steps down in his 88th year.
yeah, it is odd. And
A
yeah,
lot
all
of
the
like things.
the Jubilee year, every 25 years that happens, is where the Pope opens up 5 portals at different points around his, I don't know, his location. Kind of pretty. It's like within a distance, but it's not like worldwide.
Yeah.
It's just like on this certain spot that's been happening because they were doing it for 1,000 years. So they had to, the original Pope or the popes back then had to make the journey too. So it's like it can't be like all over.
No.
But there are these spots that basically the Pope himself has only been able to enter these like holy doors, holy gates, and rooms that only the popes have gone into every 25 years with specific rituals written in like ancient text on the ground that he has to then trace with his staff. Every pope's staff is different. I don't know if that imbues it with a different power or not. Anyway, the last time that they did it, the Pope just happened to do one in a prison for the first time instead of the usual 5 holy places that seem to be the same every year. And then he died right after. I don't. You tell me. We will dig into it more.
Yeah,
I
there's
just wanted
a lot,
to say that.
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. The prophecy stuff, kind of. I didn't see that until like I saw some other people talking about it. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's so bizarre to see it all. And
Nuts.
real quick before the big show, I just wanted to say real quick, shout out to Julian, local at the Kava Bar. He runs the Dharma Recovery upstairs on Wednesdays too. You know, if you're trying to do that,
Check it out.
he caught me off guard. He was like, "What's up with that white people thing you said like last episode?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, dude?" I had no idea at the time. And then I went back, and it was in reference to when the mermaids, when they when they brought all those foreigners over to like try to do the to like dig the well because all the locals like where they went down and they like came up and didn't talk about what freaked them out, and they just came up way too fast and didn't do anything. They didn't finish it. And they brought these like foreigners and they just called them these white dudes, and they were just like these like, you know, people that I guess didn't share the culture, and they also went down.
Yeah.
And they also got freaked out by something right away and
Like,
didn't
nope.
talk about it. And the company's like, what the fuck is happening down there? So that's what. So I think Julian was just doing some passive listening as he was like doing stuff around the house. So he just caught that. But it was very funny. So I just had to mention it again because I went back and listened and I was like, what the fuck did we say? And I was like, oh god, yeah. I will say we do a lot of work to dodge all those fucking super racy fucking theories, you know, because it's really easy to fall down those wormholes when you dig into this shit. So we like specifically try not to, also, which is why I was like, oh god, what did I dig into by accident? Anyway, anything else before we dig in here, Doss? I guess I haven't mentioned it by name. We covered it a little bit. Depends on how we release these things, huh? I'm pretty sure last week's episode would have been also one.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking we're staying in that vein of high strangeness. We're taking a break from the high seas for just a moment. We did the mermaids. We did the dolphins. We have at least one more episode in the chamber about Davy Jones and some sea monster stuff. I want to talk about the Cthulhu seafloor and all these things. We will get to that. But we're taking a break from the, you know, I got tired of swimming. So we're up here on land again. We're specifically in England, and we are talking today fully about this Sandown Clown. This is it's not a UFO.
Weird.
It's not a ghost. It's not a cryptid. It's like it doesn't really even have a classification except for high strangeness.
Just weird.
This is like one of the cases that basically made me get in. But between this and also one, that's when I was like, oh, there's weirder stuff than just like alien, you know?
Yeah. Then like some lights in the sky.
Yeah.
Okay. Bigfoot, even, you know, it's like there's like weird shit out there.
Mm-hmm. There's stuff that doesn't make any sense, and it's like, and it's remarkable that these even get covered. The high strangeness stuff, because it's like it's the kind of stuff where you like look it up and nobody else has posted it yet. You know, every single thing is on a forum somewhere these days. So it's like you look it up and it's like, okay, maybe that was just a hallucination. You're less likely to post about it or less likely to be believed or for it to be spread. So
well, if it doesn't like align with like things other people experience either, it's like it kind of just gets like washed under.
Mm-hmm. And we've done our work to try to connect these with some things. We're gonna do this is its own unique story, so I'm not gonna try to like do all these connections yet necessarily until maybe more the end. But yes, I will say if you just have anything weird happen to you, you should just write it down somewhere, because you never know if it was like a trick of the light, or if fucking 20 other people around the world experience it at the same moment as you, and it's like, what the hell was that? You know?
Yep.
Okay, let's do this. In May of 1973, on the Isle of Wight in southern England, an event took place near the Southern Golf Club that has since embedded itself in the deep catalogs of paranormal high strangeness. The encounter occurred in a region described as marshy and somewhat isolated, fringed by rivers and woodlands. It was in this setting that two witnesses, a young girl that we will refer to as Faye, these are like children, so we're not going to give out their actual names, well, Faye, and then a boy around her age, it's mostly going to be from her perspective, were playing near the golf course when they heard a loud wailing sound, similar to an ambulance siren. Weird siren noise, all right. Curious and slightly disturbed, they followed the sound into the woods across a small footbridge over a brook. Nice. Okay, so Dawson, it's 73. There's not, I mean, there is media for aliens. There's media for weirdness always. You know, Doctor Who's been out forever.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been out that long, but there's some of these movies. I don't know, Predator just came out then and shit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. They're probably not watching it though.
It's like, it's really hard. They're like out camping at this point. I don't know if they're like the type that's just going to be around like what
they're also like in England. I feel like
that's why I said Doctor Who. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
But even then, I just I'm trying. Okay, so we're in the headspace of we're two little kids, Dawson.
Yeah. All right.
Me and you are two little kids right now. We've been
Running through
doing
the
this
woods.
lately. We're running through the woods. We're in the marshes,
Following some weird noise.
messing around by a golf course, and we hear a strange noise that like we just kind of might assume it's like an ambulance. But again, we're in the marshes, so we're like, what actually is that?
What's going on?
I mean, already we're like, it's like, what?
Let's go see.
Let's go see. So we're going over this bridge. Okay, we encounter something, a being that we're later called Sam by researchers like us. Emerged from a hedge. He stood over 7 feet tall with a lean frame. His face was pale white, almost paper-like, with strange triangular markings for eyes, a square nose, and a slot-like mouth. His expression never changes, and his mouth never moves. So, if you are on audio, I suggest you go watch the video. I'm going to put a bunch of pictures behind us of this guy.
Yeah.
Our different artist interpretations. Das, why don't you move your head a little sick?
Weird.
That's the classic one behind you. Yeah. So we just kind of described it for the people, but yeah, it's just the most strange thing ever. And even like the art descriptions of it, it's hard to like, you know, sometimes it's hard to quantify things, especially just like pen and paper. You're just like trying to do what this kid said. Things might not look exactly like that. I think maybe it was described a little more clown-like in the kids' minds than maybe it was just because they're kids and they had to relate it to something. But
yeah,
okay. This weird dude. I'm going to take down some of these pics so we can see the awesome new Matrix background we have. Sweet.
Nice.
I like that. All right.
Nice.
This one behind me is great.
Yeah.
He wore a pointed hat with a red knob on top, and his body was covered in ragged garments, sometimes described as a one-piece suit or a dull blue color. He had 3 fingers on each gloved hand and 3 toes on bare white feet. Very weird. Despite this bizarre appearance, Sam did not frighten the children. Instead, he gestured toward a makeshift hut that appeared to be constructed from metal sheets, odd wallpaper, and an assortment of knobs and devices. The entire scene felt like a fever dream to these kids, right? Yeah. This blend of like childlike imagination and this alien absurdist stuff. It's like, how do you put any pieces together? So that's how they described it. They're just like, sheet metal, weird wallpaper. What does that even mean? Like, it could be anything. They just don't know what like the circuit boards are on the walls or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Assorted knobs and devices inside the hut. How are we feeling so far as these kids?
Just weird.
It's just weird.
The
right?
hell.
Has anybody seen one of these things? Honestly,
yeah.
Write us in because
like, what even is that?
Inside the hut, Sam offered the children a bizarre form of hospitality. He removed a book-like object and began writing. A book-like object. Now, the children know what books are, so they would say a book if it was a book.
It's kind of like a book. Weird.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm also hearing a cat yelling outside, but it's not at the door. So
yeah, it's just screaming.
Okay.
They're just hollering.
So he has this book-like object and began writing. He handed them a note that read, "Hello, and I am all colors, Sam." He then spoke to them aloud, though again his mouth did not move. He described himself as something not really a man and not really a ghost, but something in between.
What?
Oh, man. Okay, so this note,
Not really like anything.
This note from a book-like thing that says, "Hello, and I am all colors." It's hello, comma, and I am all colors, comma, Sam. So, hello, I am Sam. Okay, and I am all colors. So what did you think? That's like seems like some weird like alien stuff. Like that's like seems like a weird abstract way to like describe like being in multiple planes or like being like
describing whatever it is.
Yeah, I guess
if you're describing yourself as I am all colors, Sam.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
What?
He drank water through a hose attached to a wall unit, claiming it was filtered.
It was filtered water.
This is funny because we've talked about this case before.
Yeah.
But we never presented every like bizarre detail. We mostly just talked about this weirdo. Like this actual like even
drinking
just
from a hose. It's filtered.
It's like again like they're okay, so they're just like in this hut. Really, if you're a child, would you even in the 70s? I know that's kind of before like stranger danger stuff, but it's like would you really follow a stranger into a hut? Do you think that there was like some kind of like mind coercion type? You know, it's like with so many cases, it's just like I guess I just was in the hut.
Like, I wasn't like scared for some reason.
Yeah,
even though it was the weirdest thing you're ever gonna see.
Yeah,
something that doesn't even make sense.
He attempted to eat berries that the children had picked, using a strange device to analyze them for safety.
Yeah, what is this device?
The kids, they don't have no way to like describe other than it's like a device. I don't know. They probably
device.
like saw something like hover. It was like holding it over the berries. It's like ding, safe,
ping pong. Oh, okay.
Safe.
I can try to eat these
Raspberries.
Yeah, like what?
He explained, though he didn't move his mouth, that he had built the hut himself and that he lived there alone, but had a camp on the mainland. He told them he was afraid of people and avoided them. The children stayed with him for about 30 minutes. They had talked. He answered their questions. Then he said goodbye, and they ran back across the course, encountering a man to whom they immediately blurted out that they had seen a ghost.
What?
So, like, they leave, right? They leave, and then they're running back, basically. They're like, we got to get back to, we just read it. We got to get the hell out of there.
Oh, what kind of questions did they ask? I'm curious of that. He answered their questions. But
we'll get into some of this stuff. So
okay.
That is like the most frustrating element of this encounter is that it wasn't documented fully because it's just these children. The children reported conversing with Sam for half an hour. Yeah, little of this dialogue actually is in the public record. The vague documentation provided by the British UFO Research Association, or BUFORA, has led to decades of speculation and fascination over this. So basically, we don't know what they said. They just like he sent him on their way, kind of. He is. Let's talk about like. I think we can dig into what he might have said after we talk a little bit more about like what the hell this is. Talk about his face. Is he wearing like a mask or is this his face? Right.
Yeah.
He's like described as a pale white visage featuring sharply defined geometric shapes. Right. This like it never shifted when they moved.
Yeah. Almost like a weird helmet thing.
Was it being worn just over like so like that's like where like I'll throw this in here now. This is where like people like very speculative people, skeptical people, they'll say it was just like a homeless guy wearing a mask.
Some weird guy.
You know?
Could be.
I don't know. He stood over 7 feet tall.
Yeah. That's strange.
He had 3 digits on each hand.
Yeah.
He had bare feet that were pale white, not just like British white people white, which is already so pale. You've never seen
like
sun
the
before.
color white.
This is the color white,
like that.
and 3 toes.
Weird.
What the hell? It's like, what is it? It's just like it's like humanoid. He says said he wasn't a man and he wasn't a ghost. So it sounds like he's like some like not interdimensional, maybe like I don't even know, like some sort of just extraplanar thing, like sitting like in a liminal, like whatever space,
some strange traveler
sitting over, like some kind of 5D dude, just like shaking around. His voice is like. So they never really talk about what it sounds like, it's like speculated. Is it like this mechanical thing? Is it like even monotone? That's why I didn't try to like give it some kind of creepy, like weird voice. But I think when he said, I think like I don't know. It's like it's just the whole thing seems very trickstery, right? Like not like a dude trickster. It seems like it's like
It's like outside of the imagination kind of thing.
one theory is that Sam was not a being in a suit, but rather a biological spiritual machine hybrid.
Well,
so like
they talk about like the like DMT, like robot jesters and stuff.
yeah. Right,
Robotic
yeah,
elves,
these
stuff like that. It kind of like reminds me of that. Just like these pictures, the way it's described is like kind of like that. It's like kind of its own thing, but it's like it's really weird that it just popped out into like reality.
He almost it's like he's like a weird like scarecrow looking guy almost.
Yeah,
like he's weird like very like marionette-ish. He just feels like he's like a weird puppet guy or something to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically he just fits into this like these like clown like humanoid entities that like do come up in these cases basically. Yeah, these like DMT like spirit forms, where the machine elves they call them, right? We'll have to do like a full thing on there. Well, dude, there's like that. I keep on seeing it. It seems goofy, but it's like that experiment where that dude just like does a ton of DMT and like looks at lasers from the side.
Yeah.
And he's like says there's like code.
Yeah, you see like it's like what we're seeing back here basically.
It's like the Matrix
like
code
that.
in there, and like
What?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, but I know that I do know.
I know he did that, but he like had like
He has like
had his
hundreds of
friends
people
do
do it. There's like,
It's like, come on, you gotta look.
Yeah.
Look.
And then
See, do you see?
And that's like, do people just see it if you tell them to do it and they're on like drugs? I don't know.
Maybe.
Very weird though.
But even then, it's like, seems like it's just there. I don't know. I don't know what that means though.
Just it's the Matrix, literally. Then,
Yeah.
yeah. That is. Yeah. We'll have to do that study.
Yeah.
What is that? Just find some DMT and look at a laser from
Get
the
some
side.
lasers on the walls and.
All right. Just burn our eyes out by accident.
Yeah, perfect.
There's also like to kind of like throw him in with a few other things. He kind of is like this like spring-heeled Jack figure as well. That is also from like the Victorian English age, where it's like this weird guy in a strange suit. He's like really tall. Now that guy was said to like spew blue fire and like jump over whole things, and there's like a whole something with that. Maybe we'll talk about him someday. But he is like that guy. Always seemed really clowny to me, and like just this weird like jester like thing, like fucking around, jump. Like not Spring-heeled Jack. All Color Sam could like jump really high. He seems like weird and lanky like that.
Just like bounce, bounding.
Sam may be an elemental or a spirit form, right? Like we talk about like protectors of certain areas. I know with the mermaid episode a few weeks ago, we talked about their like similarity to like Bigfoot and like entities watching over specific planes of like reality. And like even like in the Greek myths, like each like lake and stream has a nymph associated with it, and like Shintoism, all these things have like a spirit in there. Is Sam just like that guy? Is he just like, does British just have a bunch of really weird fuckers as their like nymphs? Does he like?
Well, I don't think that like that's I don't know like the whole like aesthetic of like the jester clown aesthetic like comes from it's based off of like something.
Yeah.
'Cause like when you just look at like a clown and shit, it's like it's not like just inherently funny. Like there's like symbolism behind all of it, right? Like why like paint the face like that and like get the weird like shapes around the eyes and all that. Like it's just like that's like what clown makeup is like doing, like imitating. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and he just comes in with that. He just comes in with this like maybe mask,
like a silly hat on and shit. Like like jester hats and shit. Like it just kind of seems like it could be mimicking that, or maybe the jesters were just like these kind of guys.
That's just what they were.
They just were.
They were always these all color fellas.
Yeah.
Huh. Like, is he like presenting himself like that for the kids because he like somehow was able to tap into their like headspace and like see that they like whatever, it's kids,
like,
they know what clowns are.
Yeah.
Like, how do I present? How do I?
This would be like an easy way to like present
Like, I don't think that entity, whatever it's like more true form or whatever it is, whatever that like thing looks like in a 5D space, I feel like it might not be able to present like a phenomenal human. I bet it would look like a very freaky like human. If it was just trying to look like a man, like it was just like, I'm gonna just come out like a dude. It'd probably be fucking so scary. Maybe that's like what other stuff is. It's just, like, just
well, I also
chooses
like
to be
maybe
like
that's
that.
like what it was trying to do is like, I'm just gonna look like a person. I'm gonna try to look like a person. It's like, well, I'm like tall and what, like that's just what it ends up being.
It also
This like weird geometric like copy of like what it sees people looking like.
Mm-hmm. And the description of its like clothes being either like a weird suit or like also like a weird patchwork thing.
Yeah,
that feels like something that's like, maybe if they're not like looking very closely, it just like is distorting and becoming like whatever glitchy or whatever, or just like blotting out into different forms.
like it's like a psychic projection or something, like from the kid's own psyche.
So weird.
I don't know.
And then like more on this like the shack, right?
Yeah,
because people like went like they've like investigated that pretty close after there.
Yeah.
And there like wasn't a shack there. There was nothing there. It reminds me of the also one case where like he is taken to this. It's not presented the same. This is like a weird shack, but it's like in the also one case he has this like weird like cube thing.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like clearish looking cube, like invisible looking cube that he just like ends up in. And I guess the kids like, I don't know, it's hard to tell if the kids like just appeared in there after like seeing him or if they really like walked into it. And same with when they were leaving, it seems like at one point he says goodbye and all of a sudden they're like running across the field.
Yeah, now they're just...
You know, I don't think there was like a wave goodbye moment. I think he would just like bye, boom, zapped them. They're just like, yeah.
Like, yeah, it gets, I don't know, it gets weird with like where they are in like time and space and at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is that like shack like just some sort of weird like dimensional like traveling pod ship thing?
Well, because he says that he
like,
has a bigger house on the mainland.
Yeah.
Whatever that means. I don't think that they're like, I don't think he's talking about like central England.
No.
Really?
Seems like somewhere else.
Yeah. Just
What is that though?
mm-hmm. And also there's like a water system. The kids call it like a hose. He says it's been filtered. It's weird. Like in one instance, it's just like a homeless guy with a hose. It's not like, I don't think, where would the hose be connected to though? It's not like there's like, it's in the swamp. It's not like there's like a faucet out there that he would like connect it into.
No,
it's
just like just weird.
It's just like pulling it from somewhere, filtering it, somehow trying to eat the berries. I don't even think he really ate the berries. He just like analyzes them, right?
Yeah.
Just weird. They're like, there's kind of some theories where it says like, was he like stranded there and he kind of just like had these parts or something and he just like built that up, or does this like
just kind of surviving until like he could get out?
Super weird stuff. Like in the wallpaper, it was they said it was weird. They also said there was like just like strange symbols on the wall, basically.
Yeah, is it like this stuff?
Kind of. Well, that kind of reminded me of like, I don't know, maybe it's too far, but it's like the like Antarctica hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
Inside, like they go into like
that
you know,
tunnel.
there's like the apparent like alien base that like I don't know, like maybe it's like a ship that crashed or something in Antarctica, and they open that like it's like a 13-foot wide door that they press open with just their finger.
Yeah.
And like inside on the walls are all these like glowing like symbols.
Strange wallpaper.
Kind of like the Matrix thing behind us again. That's funny. We got that up for this episode. Yeah, just weird. And they're saying this like there's knobs everywhere. It is just weird. Like it is just a weird like it's just a straight up just like a weird ship in like some kind of like
Or is it like a
camouflage?
Like a I don't know, like a survival camp kind of thing. Like you just get dropped down there and just like set up this little weird little camp. I think you can just cloak it, dip in and out of like reality.
And speaking of like cloaking, there's this aspect of like the hut and Sam only being visible by the children, possibly.
Yeah.
Because there actually were two workmen nearby fixing a post, and they didn't notice anything. They didn't even literally notice the children going missing.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of like selective visibility.
Yeah.
Right. and
present itself to like only
like
those
so
who can handle it.
Or like, did the children enter like a separate layer of reality? Like, do you think they were
Yeah.
taken, or was he over here? That's
Yeah,
even like
yeah.
a hard thing to like point out, because it's like when they go over and the thing isn't there. I don't know. What's easier, like taking the kids there or moving yourself and your whole fucking base there? I don't know.
Right.
Just weird though. This
There's like a doorway you have to go through. You have to be in a certain like vibrational state, like curious.
Yeah, maybe like yes,
open-minded, curious, like
something.
young,
It's hard to put like
innocent.
a label on it. That is like what it is though. It is again with like their children too, and there's all this stuff about like more
like an
paranormal stuff happening
adult-
to kids.
Yeah, if like an adult stumbled upon that, it'd probably get like weirdly hostile. You'd probably
Yeah.
be like weirdly like, yo, what the fuck are you doing out here? What are you?
Yeah.
Or kids are gonna be like,
Oh, I'd be
"What?"
so scared.
Yeah, I'd be like, dude, what the hell is
Yeah,
going on?
yeah.
What the fuck are
Oh,
you?
you take a tone with it.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the
I'd probably
fuck
just
you
dash.
doing out here?
I don't know if I'd be able to.
Hey, you! Hey, what are you doing out here?
Yeah. I
Are
don't
you
know.
supposed to be out here?
I like to think if I came up on something like this, I would be able to have an experience,
Yeah, right.
But it's hard to
Probably
tell
not,
because
though.
it
I
is
probably
like,
wouldn't. I'd
I have
probably be
to-
like dipping the fuck out.
yeah, like I feel like I just I would see something unfathomable and I would just couldn't help but be
Yeah.
totally.
If I started
Sure.
just going to this like siren and all of a sudden like this thing, that guy
That's the
pops
thing.
out, I'm like, all right, well, I'm out.
That
Peace.
like siren noise, that like I mean they literally call it a siren, but like it's kind of like that, like that siren call, that like the woods calling something like deeper in there. If it's like some kind of elemental, if it's like a Gaia entity.
Well, it reminds me too, like the description and like the artist renditions of it remind me of like some of those like cave paintings and weird sculptures, like ancient stuff, where it's like these weird like antenna things.
And like the pointed,
pointed
like
hats,
stuff like
the
that. We
antennas,
have I
and,
don't have
like-
any pictures here, but you're right about that. They all
You know what I mean?
those
Like
come
the
up all the
round,
time.
weird geometric shapes on everything. It's like,
Mhm.
like yeah, maybe they're making just like a person, but like maybe it was like something weird was coming and hanging out with them.
Well, they only at that like when cave paintings like that were made, it's like those were only documenting like important things. I don't think that you're just like
Yeah.
wasting like resources or time to like
No, you like see something and you're like,
Do, like, a
guys, we gotta
day-to-day.
like get this down so we can like,
Mhm.
be like when the guys come back from hunting, we can be like, hey guys, this is what we saw, and you have like a painting of it.
yeah,
it was like
this
this.
is what it was like. So we don't have even words yet.
Yeah, it was like
Just doing
oh,
this.
ooh.
Right. I mean, that is like pre-language when you're just like, this
Yeah.
is what
Ugh.
we saw. Right. And it's like,
Fucking-
if it was one of you guys, they would have just pointed to one of you guys and been like, it was like,
or
this.
like if like you see something like that and there's like you're like already in that cave, you're like, well, I gotta just like mark this cave. It's like this is where this thing's
this is
around.
where that lives.
This thing's around here.
Mm-hmm. And
It's like a marker for like other cave.
and
men.
really, there were so many cultures like moving through like that, like England territory, like through all of history. And like, but a lot of like, like Vikings, they were just writing stuff down and they were like
Yeah.
barely writing stuff down, but it was all on like wood, stuff that would degrade.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe in some time in the past, they did come across this thing. If
Yeah.
it was here for like a long time, if this thing is
Yeah.
like just like a protector of that thing that doesn't really have like time or like, like a lifespan, it's just like there, or anything that we could like a lifespan like we would understand it.
Yeah, something outside of time,
Like it's like
outside of imagination.
Yeah.
Like
the idea of like trying to mark that spot for like future generations to be like, it's got to be just like a cave painting or something if you're gonna do that.
right.
Or, like maybe in the past there was like a weird sign on a tree next to it. It's like just this weird shape. It's like, hey, if you go one step over that, if you gotta take one step
This-
over that
this
route
way.
there, you're about to see something.
This is where the portals are.
Bad, yeah. It's like, sheesh. I don't know. What are we pointing to as far as like what do you think what's like the most likely thing?
I don't know, man. That the thing is like there's
It's
there's
high
like
ranges.
nothing.
There's no box to put it in.
There's nothing like it. There's no
Yeah.
likeness.
There's there's some overlap
Like-
with other high strange accounts of like
it reminds
witnesses,
me of also one a little bit,
but it's different though.
but it
right?
is its own thing.
There's this
And it's
other
its
like
own like whole experience where it's like
there's accounts of people interacting with
The
like
hell?
structures and objects that are completely invisible to others, right? So that's where I'm saying that's where it's like it could be a extra little pocket, and the kids are only going there.
like extra dimensional little.
Yeah, a little like dimensional pocket
But
there.
it seemed like he was like trying. It was like trying to get the attention of these kids. You know what I mean?
Somehow, yeah. If it was a true call, right? If
Like-
that was like that is the strange
it
part.
wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't just like have a siren
Well,
going
dude,
off.
What
If it
is
wasn't
the
trying
30
to-
minutes there, dude?
Yeah, I
The
don't know.
30 minutes there, it's like,
Like, what was actually happening? You know, like the
Mm-hmm.
kids are probably like, "Oh, we're asking questions," but like, what kind of data was that thing getting?
oh,
What was it like planting? What was it like? You know?
Yeah, because there was just no traces left. Like, if it was like just some homeless dude with like
Yeah.
a whole water system in there, if the fucking people come back like 30 minutes later to check it out,
Yeah, even
It's
if
like-
it was like a homeless guy or just like a guy camping out
you
in
can't
the woods
move
in
that
like a
whole
metal
shack. You can't move that whole
Like
shack.
he would like see where it was.
Well, yeah, the workers that were right nearby, they would have like they would have like
Yeah.
heard some dude fucking building a scrap metal shack or whatever this thing is. You know, It's like,
Yeah.
you can't move that silently. It's like
No.
the sound of
And
tearing that
there
down.
would just there would like be like evidence of it. Like if you've ever seen anyone like camping anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
there's like you can like see where their like tent was or everything was. You know what I mean? Like
Okay, we're gonna take a short break here.
yeah,
Av, if you thought we were done here, we're not, because
hell yeah.
their father has had some things happen to him in the past. you
Oh,
know,
shit.
and we're gonna get into that right after
It's
this.
in the blood,
It's in the blood.
the bloodline.
All right, we're back with Pumpkin Hill Radio. It's Travis and Dawson again. Took a small break there. Hope you didn't mind.
Yeah.
We are going to
didn't
talk
notice.
about. I want to. So second half here, we're going to talk about what Faye and the son's dad, like Faye, the little girl, like her father. Her father has a whole bunch of other, like not a whole bunch, but a few different UFO type encounters in and around the same year. That he didn't. That we'll just talk about later. But we were on a nice little vein of conversation earlier about like cave paintings and like
Yeah.
markings and like ways to like mark
Old like
almost just like ways to mark high strangeness. Like
Yeah.
it's almost like the first time
Yeah.
they're like recording this stuff. It's basically
just-
the first paranormal podcast.
and just like those ancient like artifacts and stuff that are just like clearly they're not people, but it's like something.
Mm-hmm.
Like something they came in encounter with that's like almost humanoid, but it's like definitely not an animal, but it doesn't look like how they do people either.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like what were they seeing? What are they like imagining at least? You know what I mean? Like where are they coming up with that?
Where's this all coming from? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a few different examples here. So again, if you're on audio, come to the video. I'll do our best to describe this, and it won't take too long either.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
just hold your horses. Dawes, you talked about this one first.
Yeah.
Do we
Just
know-
like the weird like round heads. I don't know, like the like weird antennas and stuff coming off of these guys. Like they got big eyes. Like they kind of have like different little things going on too.
They often will have like a pattern or like a
Yeah.
striped pattern
Like
on them.
holding stuff. Like it's just weird. Like I mean, you could see this being kind of like the Sandown Clown. Or yeah, the Sandown.
Yeah, that guy
Clown.
right there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, like it's got like this weird like outfit thing going on.
Yeah.
Doesn't really show their feet or anything, but it's like
Well, then, like a lot of those things, you know, Sam, the Sandown Clown, did have feet. He has these white
Yeah.
3-pronged feet. Unlike the also one case where the feet and like one of the hands seem to just not even be
Yeah.
there. Like it's like float, like it only is floating in your like in your main view, and even in your peripherals, it starts to like evaporate out of reality.
yeah.
And it's like
they have like these like weird like stabs. Like it looks like almost snakes, but it's like they're
Well,
all
we-
holding stuff.
we were missing one part of the description
There's,
here.
like,
And
animals back here.
Sam, the Sandown Clown, was holding this weird like microphone thing.
Yeah, like it shows it in the picture. It has like a mic with like
Just like a weird microphone looking thing, which might just be like some kind of weird wand looking device. I don't know, some sort of alien
Yeah,
tech
it
device,
just-
whatever. But
because I
And,
mean, you think of like if you're in ancient times and you see like a microphone with like a wire on it, it's gonna look. You're gonna be like, that's like a weird.
it's like a weird snake staff. It's like a weird snake
It's like a weird
staff.
snake
yeah.
that guy has.
That is what he's holding. Dude, that is also one right there.
Yeah.
All right. So confirmed also one in the past.
It's got like these
I
weird
mean,
like dots up there.
Sandown
I don't
Clown.
know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
also one Sandown Clowns, but they've been around.
Just to compare it to the Sandown Clown
Yeah.
picture again. Yeah.
Like
yeah,
it's
and
got
he
like
is-
these like I don't know.
Look
You
at
know?
that.
They
Same
just didn't have as much like detail.
Same snake wand, dude.
Like they couldn't like draw
Look
like
at that.
fingers and stuff.
Look at
But
your
it's
head,
like
Dawes.
yeah,
Look at that snake wand.
right.
That
I
same
mean,
big
it might be a
eyes.
reach, but like, come on now.
They got these antennae.
This
Hey, don't tell me this little point on the top of their head, dude.
it's got these like little like circle things over here. I don't know. You
All
know
right.
what I mean?
Also, no, this is
Oh.
from a completely different culture, but this was from a different study I was doing on just these like beings, these liminal beings, right?
yeah.
But this is like a statue of a black and white striped like guy with weird horns.
Yeah, because they do that in like
Like, weird
Africa.
shapes.
Like there's like tribes that like do that for like rituals and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I mean, it's something. It's something similar. Like that's the thing. It's all so strange, and it's like there's gonna be like variants of it, but it's like it's something of the same.
I mean, look at these two guys.
Style. Yeah.
Two stripy guys, and that those come up in all these different cultures. But that liminality of like black to white, like or like
that like contrast,
that in between space of like it. I feel like that's what it's showing is that like that like event horizon of like space.
Like whatever this thing is.
Lastly, I have the last
like
picture
whatever
your
mind is even like trying to think of like what, like understand what it's seeing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There's just the similarities are like there, and it's just so strange that like I'm grabbing anything that looks even remotely similar, and like putting it together because it's like it has to.
I have one more for you.
So weird.
One more picture. Now this one, if we're talking about marking a specific place. Now I know France isn't England, but we're in Europe still. This is from France, which is where some of the oldest cave paintings come from.
Yeah.
This one specifically is called the Sorcerer. Okay.
Oh shit.
Now. This is a really weird thing. Now, this is like a sketch of the painting. Right here. Just is a little more visible. So basically, for our audio listeners, it's like a half deer, half man thing. Kind of looks like a deer, but it has human hands, human feet, or human-like feet. Got like a dick hanging out the back.
Yeah.
It's got like weird hand-like antlers and like a weird human-like monkey face. It's just like I think it's just showing that there's been, weird stuff. At least in that that European area for at least up to 13,000 years ago. I mean,
I imagine just forever these things have been just popping up around humans forever.
This thing's from 13,000 BC, by the way.
Like so that's 15,000 years ago?
So that thing's like one of the first pictures we have. Just as a
kind of
humanity.
Important.
Yeah, this guy.
Seems kind of important.
Yeah. The weird like hands and feet of a human though are weird, and it points to that like wild magic that druid stuff.
Because like I mean, drawing hands and feet are like it's like really hard.
Yes.
So if you're gonna like make it look like a human, you're like trying harder than if it was just a deer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was supposed to be a deer. It'd have been way easier to draw, and they just wouldn't have like done the work to make it like that. Those details, you know what I mean?
Just bizarre stuff. We'll have like
someone saw that and was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
can't get this image out of my head. I gotta."
Yeah. Need to show everybody for the next 13,000 years. Yeah.
Gotta put it on the cave. Hopefully someone will know.
15,000 years from now, someone's going to see this.
Hopefully someone will see it someday and know.
Hey, we got you. Yeah,
Sandown Clown. I saw the Sandown Clown.
Basically, dude. If we're just saying it's some weird, like, liminal entity that's in that part of the world, it's like that seems like some other liminal entity that was in that same part of the world. Fucking 15K.
These things that like come, because I feel like
possibly it's changed form a bit.
Well, they just like there's like, I mean, if there's one of them, there's probably a whole like, there's a plethora of them, There's different ones, there's different like animals, there's different versions, different like.
Okay, that picture of the sorcerer we just put up. Now that is like a weird human deer thing. Now imagine this. Okay, we're two like cavemen, whatever.
Oh.
Yeah, get in that headspace.
I hope you like that.
I got in the headspace of the caveman so hard that I couldn't come back to the present now.
Dude, it's about to be to the headspace, but it's hard to come back.
Okay, so just like these kids are like shown this weird clown thing, like it's like almost like trying to be a clown. What do cavemen really like? We love meat, don't we?
Oh, the deer.
The deer.
The deer is like that's like a sign of life and like sustenance.
So it's like it sees this thing that's kind of deer-ish. Maybe the deer. Maybe it's like talking to it. Giving the same 30-minute conversation
through its like mind.
Giving the same 30-minute conversation it gave to the kids 15,000 years later.
Caveman's like,
who knows?
Painting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Painting.
Like before that, they probably didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And then like
I gotta put this up.
Draw.
Maybe,
draw.
This is the sorcerer now. Yeah. All right, so let's get out of the ancient past now. It's always good to visit the ancient past on these episodes. I love hitting it up.
Got it. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. It's all been around before.
You got to see the picture we put up here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, we'll call him Mr. Y, their father.
Mm-hmm. Why are we seeing this?
Well, the Sandown Clown case is remembered. Yes, that's what. Well, the Sandown Clown case is remembered through the testimony of a 7-year-old girl named Faye, known as Faye. The report was likely never reached public awareness were it not for her father, referred to as Mr. Y in the original document. It was Mr. Y's own history and high strangeness that led him to report his daughter's bizarre experience to the British UFO Research Association, BUFORA. As a result, Faye's encounter was published not as a standalone event, but as an addendum to his already existing dossier of UFO phenomena. His involvement deepens the mystery, linking the child's isolated moment into of wonder to a broader web of paranormal activity here. Driving from Shanklin to Ryde on the Isle of Wight, Mr. Y observed a large, this is in 1970, 3 years prior. He observed a large, multi-lit aircraft hovering low over swampy terrain near the River Yar. Pretty close to where this actually
around
thing
that swampy
was.
terrain.
Yeah. The object displayed a ring of red, turquoise, and white lights. This is in the 70s. This is not a drone, okay?
Yeah.
Red, turquoise, and white lights. Each described as large and cherry-like in their brilliance. It hovered, cherry red. It hovered silently, then followed his vehicle, shifting position in a seemingly intelligent manner.
Interesting.
So this is the stuff that you gotta go dig for. It's like her dad had stuff too. Yeah.
Like why there's like certain people that are like weirdly like just gonna be seeing.
Oh, we're just
stuff.
getting started here. At one point, Mr. Y signaled it with a flashlight for 10 minutes. He gets out of his car, flashes at it for 10 minutes. The object weaved back and forth above the hedgerows, but never landed. One of his friends later saw the same lights from Mr. Y's destination, giving, some corroboration there at least.
Yeah.
In March of 72, this is less than a year before the Sandown incident, Mr. Y encountered had an encounter in Compton Bay, he was nearly caught by a sudden tidal surge. He attributed the surge to an underwater craft he believed was creating the disturbance. As he perched on a rock to escape the flooding, he noticed two glowing yellow orbs beneath the water's surface. These lights, which he described as eyes belonging to a sea monster or deep ocean periscope, seemed to peer up at him. The lights vanished only as the tide receded. Mr. Y never shared these events with his daughter, making the overlap of the shapes and symbols in the sightings a little more perplexing.
It seems like there's like the dude has like some sort of like intuitive like feelings on things. Like he's like, this thing was like flying over my head and it seemed to be intelligent. It's like there's like an intuition, like he might be getting like some subconscious like message, that he just doesn't realize. And then it was like, it was like these eyes were, I saw these eyes peering at me. It's like, well, you're being watched. That might just be what that like is. That intuition like being translated is like, oh, these look like eyes from a sea monster. It's like maybe I don't know.
Maybe, but it's something.
Maybe they just were eyes. I don't know. Maybe like, the Sandown Clown. Maybe Sam's just one of these like little minions. There's a big mama in there.
There's a big mom. The mainland is just something in the water. Yeah, it's like the ocean. The mainland is the same as the ocean.
Dude,
this is a completely different topic, but dude, I was digging down this rabbit hole of like little islands in the middle of the Pacific that like apparently have these like towns from the 50s, like that like people were like either cloned or like brought in as orphans and just like raised there, and these like, and they're all still like less like a 50s postcard,
Yeah.
Dude,
weird. Dude, someone told me. I don't know, this is kind of getting off topic, but like someone told me, they're like, yeah, did you hear about the new continent they found? And I was like, what? I just started laughing. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, they found a whole new continent. I'm like, what? I gotta look into that.
More on that later, huh?
But like, that just reminded me of that. Of like, what? Yeah. That might be the mainland, the new continent.
One of the hypotheses was like, we've talked about it before, and this is even like one of those tricky concepts to get into, but it's like the concept of like so like a familial or like genetic predisposition to perceiving this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Which immediately then rockets into like the blood of the ancients and only one race has this nonsense. The chosen, it's like, God damn it,
the chosen bloodlines.
But that's like one hypothesis I got to put up. It's like anytime that's like a father and son seeing things but not really even displaying them to each other, it's like
it goes down like the family lineage, like the Shaws.
Yeah.
But
it's just something.
It's easy to, I don't know, like I don't even want to like consider like the like racial thing about it or like whatever, because like
it's just like
it's a diverse crew of people.
And it's possibly just like
the Benny and like Barney Hill. Like that was like a mixed race couple. Like I don't know, there's like plenty of these, but it's like,
and well, yeah, as the Shaws described it, they were like, we're just like cows. They're just like watching over like whatever. So it could just be like specific families or like just like random. They'll just pick people from random across the
certain
globe.
like genetic like.
I mean, it's like an ant farm, It's like if you were able to like see a specific one, it's like what's the now in like a raise it for a couple generations. You want to see what their kids doing and stuff. I don't know.
Or if you're like, if you're like breeding cattle, like there's like certain like genetic like lineages that you're like
a marker.
You're like, oh, let's like go down. This is what we're looking for. Like whatever like goals they have, whatever their like intention is. It's like, all right, well, this family they got like some sort of like genetic material.
And like maybe it's just like
makeup
more of like a unlocking it sort of thing. It's like the whole like probably everybody has whatever it is. It's just you got to like open it up to like see it. It's like when you see one high strange event, it's like you're just bound to see so many more than two.
And that might be it too. It's like maybe there's certain people that like are like locked up asleep, and these things happen to them to like kind of open those like
loosen them
genetic those genetic like closed doors. You know what I mean?
True.
So then when they have kids and their kids have kids, it's like it grows from there. So like humanity itself can grow into like this like understanding,
we
race.
grow our draconic intelligence.
Yeah.
The holy dragon.
Our Pleiadian fucking bloodlines, so we can actually perceive them.
There's let's just talk about 73 as a year for a while. Like we've because in 73
also one
happened in 71 or 72 within
it was like within like a year or two.
I don't even know. I thought it was like
it was like
73.
It might be a different year, but it was like within 12 months kind of thing.
Other side of the world, right?
Yeah.
In 1973, we have it was a peak year for global UFO activity and just general encounters on that kind of stuff. In October of that year, the Pascagoula abduction case was like all the rage in America. We'll have to cover that. And the UK reports of a landed craft and humanoid sightings increased markedly. And in Wales, the Broadhaven school incident occurred in which children described an egg-shaped craft and silver-suited figures. At that time, the air was thick with weirdness, right?
It was like in like Zimbabwe or something. There was like a whole
the aerial school.
Yeah.
Well, dude, we'll cover that. We're literally a whole like playground full of children. So,
but that was like around the same time.
Yeah,
it might have been like a decade later, maybe.
Dude.
But it was like
that was like 70s because all those kids are like
because they're all like our parents' age.
Yeah, and they're like fucked up.
And they're like, yeah, I still am freaked out by that.
Yeah, dude, we'll cover the aerial school sometime.
That's like another thing where like people are like, oh, there's just not any evidence of UFOs. Like there's like towns of people that like had UFOs land and like talk to them.
Yeah,
there's like reports of it. It's like they're all just making it up.
Yeah,
like what are you talking about? There's not evidence. Like just because you don't have like that happen to you doesn't mean it isn't happening to everyone else. And we're just gonna ignore everyone's like firsthand accounts, because firsthand accounts are like enough to like convict someone in a crime.
That's true, Das.
Eyewitness, that's
excellent point there.
That's enough to like sway a jury. Be like, I saw it, I was there, and like, well, yeah, he was right. Okay, that happened then. It's like, but we're not gonna do that with like high strangeness. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot about it.
Carl Jung proposes that certain symbols and patterns recur in the human mind across cultures and ages. The Sandown Clown fits into this archetype of like that visitor thing, which, archetypes can be one thing, but I think those have to be based in some type of reality again, and there's a lot of Jungian stuff that gets very psycho-paranormal as well.
I think the archetypes too, it's like everything like fits into archetypes. That doesn't mean it's not there though. It's like a way of describing and classifying it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it's not. It doesn't mean it's like I don't know. No, I think it's like easy to try to dismiss things like that, but it's like no. It's like
we ain't dismissing things.
We ain't dismissing. It's just how our brains are like going to categorize it.
Yeah.
And classify it. You know what I mean? It's like, but yeah, it's the visitor archetype, and it's like a thing that like consciousness like opens up, and like you see UFOs and all that, and like ghosts. It's like yeah, but it's like happening.
It's happening. Yeah, that's
like it's happening now. It's still just happening. So like, whatever that is, it's not like doesn't mean it's not real.
Yeah,
just because our minds are like projecting it. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean it's not still real.
Some eighth tower shit. I mean? Some eighth tower wisdom from Dawson right there near the end. Any other final thoughts on this, Doss? We'll start to close it down.
I don't know, man. I think it's just one of the weirdest things out there. I love these like weird.
Yeah, that's why we made PHR, dude. Is like to get into the
because there's like man. Everyone knows like Roswell. Everyone knows about Area 51,
and it's like all those cases will find a place in Pumpkin Hill Radio at some point. But it's like I love
this is the stuff where you tell the story. And you try to tie it into like familiar things, and then you're just like, I don't know though.
Mm-hmm.
This is nuts.
Yeah, I love throwing shit at the wall for you for the past like half hour, just like trying to guess at what this thing
What the
is.
hell are they
it is
like?
truly
What did they
bizarre.
talk about? Dude,
the hell?
what I'd
did they
give to be a
talk
fly
about?
on the wall to hear
Dude.
that conversation.
Oh man,
I want to have one of those. I'd love to talk to Sam for fucking an hour. Let's get him on the pod. Hey, Sam, I am all colors. Come on the pod.
so
We'd love to have you.
what we know from Sam, what we know he said, and that's I second that, Dawson. Thank you for calling him out. He said, "I am not really a human being. I am confused. I am not a ghost, but something like it."
Interesting. So he doesn't even really know.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he does.
Spoken either from advanced technology, telepathy, or paranormal projection of some kind.
But that's like, if he doesn't really know if he's like man or human, or he's like somewhere in between, it might just be him trying to like translate. And he's like, I don't really have.
It's not like a word for this for you.
It's confusing to say it in this like 3D.
In this 3D space, it's like the easiest thing I can say is I am all
like,
colors.
When there's
like
limited
that,
language,
hopefully that
yeah.
makes sense for you. It's like,
where it's
well,
like I'm
not
sure
really.
like if you it's like trying to describe like, oh, I did 5 grams of mushrooms, and then you describe it. It's like, well, that doesn't. You went somewhere else, but it's like it wasn't here. It wasn't there. It was there. It was all times at once, and it's like, well, what are you even talking about?
Yeah.
But if you're like trying to describe yourself, if you're like there, it's like, well, I'm confused. Like,
Right. And when you're having these experiences from a sober mind, right? You know, like, and then it's like where is this psychedelia like coming in from? Like, where is this all like the absurdist stuff? It's like, what is tuning? What
what's the mechanism happening? What's like the
like
shift,
just some
the
crazy
change,
shift? Yeah. And I'm sure like at the same time, I bet like, I don't know. I have to think there was some kind of like, with some kind of infrasound going on where like the, like I bet the weather was like getting weirder or something, I bet all the animals in the area like had left.
Yeah, I bet like the kids didn't notice, but there's no birds chirping. There's no like
just that kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's quiet other than the siren.
Well, I don't know. I think we've like kind of hammered on it, but I think again, this is just like a super interesting case. I love digging into like kind of the nitty gritty. That hut is crazy. The wallpaper, the weird wallpaper, like when you're like a kid describing that, like that could be so many weird, like bizarre alien tech circuits and hieroglyphs and stuff.
Anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's too like just like you. I don't know. Talking about this story and stories like this, it's like the more you talk about it, the more people are going to hear it. And if they had a similar experience, they're like, "Oh yeah, that happened to me." Mm-hmm. I just kind of blocked it out because it was so weird. I just assumed I was like dreaming or something.
Yeah. It's like this is a case from '73, and I bet most of y'all like. I don't want to assume, but I didn't hear about it until semi recently.
No.
It's one of those things. It's like what people even feel weird just like bringing it up. It's like there's no context for it. There's no place to say it. There's not like
because even people in like this like kind of a space of like this high strange and like paranormal, like they like glaze over these kind of things because it's like so weird they don't even know where to put it. Mm-hmm. So you're like, whatever, we'll just skip that because it's just too bizarre. I don't even know what to think about it. So like people self-censor themselves on that, you know what I mean? Like
pop that up, pop in the 13,000 BC sorcerer pick again. Yeah, Dawson. Hey, watch it, buddy.
Yeah,
it's our ancestor.
That's our ancestor. Yeah, I'm definitely a descendant.
That's our alien ancestor, Dawson. All right, let's close this thing out. This has been good. We got some good stuff coming for you in the bag. Remember, patreon.com/Pumpkin Hill Radio gets you 5 bonus episodes a month. That's 2 exclusive Chaos Control Paranormal News episodes. That's 2 Dawson's Diaries. You're still getting 2 of each of those on the main feed as well. So it's like we're still giving you it. You know what it is. If you like what it is, you know where to find a lot more. And you also get a bonus episode of this kind of thing every month. Some of my favorite episodes are on the Patreon exclusively. Check out our very first Patreon episode, the Green Children of Woolpit, an extremely high strange case. If you liked what we heard today, totally different, but it was over in that same area too. Honestly,
yeah.
If you want to hear that, $5 will get it for you. So much other content too. You can hear the first 18 episodes of Pumpkin Hill Radio before we knew what we were doing. You can just check it out. There's a lot of fun stuff there. with that being said,
Good content. Good stuff.
tell your friends
Yeah.
about us, rate us, review us wherever you can. It super helps us reach new viewers, and that's how we can keep on creating this content for you. So we really appreciate that. Check the Etsy store for pins, prints, more. Email me right now if you want a shirt. We're working on getting that more publicly available. But if you want any kind of merch, I'll get you
I
that.
know everybody wants shirts.
Yeah. And what? How much would I sell this for? Like $15?
Sure.
I can do it. You know?
We'll figure that out.
All right. This has been Pumpkin Hill Radio. Travis Wormwood, Dawson Trailer.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.